All right. I'm excited now because one of the things, and you're probably going to see a change in internet marketing, is this move towards content marketing. And with content marketing, anytime that you can focus on building yourself as an authority, that could pay massive dividends in your business. And when I go into the session Content Boomerang about what we're doing with content marketing, a lot of what we're trying to do follows, and I'll talk about what we've seen happen with other marketers who are building on content. But I'm excited to have Vince, and I asked Vince specifically to do a session on how to build yourself as an authority. And he'll be the first one to tell you, don't worry, you don't need to have 17 or 18-inch biceps to be an authority in your market. It helps if you're in the muscle industry, but the idea here is, and I've told this to a lot of people, I say that if you're going to go into the supplement business or you're going to do something like that, get a brand face or a brand ambassador if you're not going to be that brand ambassador, because you need to have somebody who can be the face of your brand or build the authority of your brand. Vince I've been watching for. I was introduced to Vince through my business partner, Dr. Livingston, probably about 3 years ago. And I got to give Vince a lot of credit, because in my personal opinion, he seems to be a very, very patient guy in terms of building his content over years and years and years. But I think Vince is smart in the sense, he's wicked smart in the sense that he knew that he's not building this content for one-time use. He's building assets that are going to stay online for hundreds of years. He's building, you look at content as assets, folks. People look, oh, I don't want to record a video, I don't want to do this. But in reality, you're building an asset that can be used over and over again. So I'm excited to have Vince here. He's going to tell you about 11 authority domination secrets to accelerate your credibility, influence, and profits. And you guys can be the next Vince Del Monte in your market if you'd like. Vince, come on up, buddy. There you go, buddy. Let me just hook you up.
Yeah. Actually, I'm all hooked up.
Are you already hooked up?
Yeah.
You sure you want to test that?
Test. Are we ready? No. All right. Are we ready? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. All right. So before we dive in, I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about myself. Are you guys okay if I'm passionate and I pace the floor? I'm an Italian guy, so I get pretty fired up. I love the stage. I'm speaking 5 times in 1 month. I've got 5 of my coaching clients in here. Can you guys put your hands up? So I brought some moral support into the room. I get fired up when people I know are in the room, and it's just an honor to be here today. So we're going to just dive right in. There's a lot of information. I'm a bit like a fire hose, so I spray, all right? So take lots of notes, and a lot of this you might just get one idea from this talk that's applicable to what you're doing right now. But before we get into all the good stuff, let me just tell you guys a bit about who I am. And before we dive into that, you can see everything that I'm doing through any of these platforms, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook. This is all happening 24/7. And Goher was suggesting that you can study people's marketing funnels, and I tell all my coaching clients, if you're about to get into a market, research. Everybody skips the research phase. Spend a month literally reverse engineering what's working in your space. If you want to go authority marketing route, well, study the top authority marketers in your space. It's right there in front of you, and it's free. I have an assistant that goes through. I say, I need you to deconstruct this guy's process for me, and you guys can deconstruct my process if you study what I'm doing. So I'm going to give you guys some of the behind the scenes today, so when you start seeing me do things, say things, you're like, I know why he's doing that. It's going to start making sense. We never do anything unintentional. We don't just flip the camera on unintentionally. We're always acting like chess masters 3 steps ahead. So the reason I'm up here today, I'll tell you guys why I'm up here as well as the session goes on. It's all leveraged into a bigger idea, a bigger vision, and a clear path to that vision. All right, so who am I? I grew up in a Christian home. I am a father of 2. I'm a husband, I'm a fitness trainer and an author, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an online business coach. And I like sharing pictures just so you guys can connect with who I am, and maybe some of this stuff will help you understand where I'm coming from and all this. So this is my BMW. How many people here have a BMW? A BMW is your beautiful, marvelous wife. Did you guys know that? Who's got a BMW? Now he just threw his hand up. All right. Who's got a BMW in the room? All right. So that's my BMW. We just celebrated 7 years of marriage, and it's been the best 7 years of her life. These are my 2 kids, Melia and John Luca. They just turned 4 and 2. And this is my legacy. A lot of people talk about legacy and building this empire of a business and making $30 million, $40 million, $100 million a year. My dad has been a pastor for 30 years, so he's the guy. All right, sweet. So he is always bringing me back to reality, and he's always reminding me that he knows a lot of my friends who are running these massive, massive businesses, and he always reminds me that your legacy, Vince, isn't this empire you build, but the lives that you touch. How many people here are touching lives? If you're touching lives, that's your legacy. So at the end of the day, ultimately, these 2 kids are my legacy. And the reason I show them is because I'm trying to build a big business. Yes, absolutely. I'm all for making money. I think we all need to be. However, not at the expense of sacrificing the main thing. And this is the main thing. If I become rich and wealthy and powerful, but I kick this to the curb, I effed up. It was all for nothing. So I think it's very important for us to always remember to keep the main thing the main thing. Are you guys excited about that? You guys really, can I get a bit of a response from that? I just hit the top there, guys. All right, so these are my action takers to show you guys how I've impacted lives. I like to look at the final product. This is the final product of people that I've worked with, my coaching clients. This is a book that I've recently written, Living Large. This is the Sherway Gardens right by my new home here in Toronto. And I saw my book in the bookstores, and that's just a picture I'm really proud of. Although I haven't made a single penny from that book, I kid you not. That's another story maybe we'll touch on a little bit later. But I've got a book, and we're going to talk about why you should still write a book. All right? I've been a 7-figure year earner for the past 7 years. This is a new home we just purchased in Toronto. The only reason I share this is just like in fitness, you've got to see, is this guy the real deal? All right, a lot of people talk about making money online, and I don't know if Peter's still in the room, but Peter was suggesting yesterday there's a lot of people selling Facebook ad courses, and they're literally living paycheck to paycheck. There's a lot of people on the internet selling business courses, money-making courses, and they're literally almost broke or living paycheck to paycheck. So I'm a firm believer in practicing what you preach and being authentic and just letting people know, hey, I'm talking to you guys about how to build your business. So wouldn't you want to learn from somebody who's actually doing it right now in 2017, not in 2011, right? And that's why I love Gohar and I have so much respect for him, because what he's doing right now is working right now. You guys are coming to an event learning what's working in 2017, not in 2008, 2011, because frankly, those days have sailed. When money, how many people remember 2011, 2012 when it used to rain money? It's not like that anymore. It's a lot tougher now. These are my online business students. I do 2-day seminars called 0 to 6-Figure Formula. I bring guys into a room and I teach my 6 steps to building a 6-figure business on the internet. So this is a recent seminar we just had in Toronto. And these guys are my legacy. These are the guys that I get most passionate about working with, because these are the guys that are going to become authority figures and impact more lives. So I quickly realized, it emerged on me recently, that if I want to impact a lot of people's lives, I can't do it by myself. All right, if I want to impact 1 million lives through my platform, I could maybe do that. But if I wanted to impact 100 million people, I need more people underneath me who I'm building into leaders so that they can have an impact as well. So these days, I'm not interested in attracting more followers. I'm interested in attracting more leaders and building leaders up, because they're going to help me be able to achieve my ultimate goal. And it all started, I like bringing you guys right back to when I think this picture was when I was about 17, 18 years old, when I was Skinny Vinny. That's Skinny Vinny. Weak, scrawny, couldn't get the girl. I was that billboard for the weak, scrawny pushover. All right, and then this is many years later, this skinny guy savior. All right, so it all started off when I was literally a complete nobody. I was a long distance runner and had not too much clue of where I was going in the future, but it all started off with Skinny Vinny. So why must we become an authority? Number one, to become a credible and trustworthy voice of quality education so that you can serve more clients and help them get results. How many people want that? Yes. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Number two, to become the go-to person for industry leadership and advice so that you can have a larger impact and influence. How many people want to be the go-to person? When they talk about your field, you're the go-to guy. Oh, you've got to go, if you want to learn traffic and conversion, you got to go to GoHer. He's the man. Go to his event. He's an authority on this space, traffic, conversion, leads. You come to his event because he's the expert. All right, you don't even need to read his sales page. People aren't even reading sales pages anymore. They're just looking at the guy on Instagram and figuring out, holy crap, that guy just got a huge following. I'm going to buy from him. So how can you become that guy so that people take their credit card out even without a long-form sales page? That's my ultimate vision. People aren't reading 40 pages of sales copy anymore. Yes, we need that. Don't get me wrong. If you go to my business, you're going to see lots of sales pages. We need those for maybe people that don't know us as well. But ultimately, they're probably going to look at your social media. They're going to read a ton of articles, watch a bunch of videos, and then they'll be ready to buy when they have that like, know, and trust factor. And these days, like, know, and how many people have heard about the like, know, and trust factor? Guess what? The like, know, and trust factor isn't even good enough anymore. You know what we need to strive for now? The love, know, and trust factor. People aren't connecting with people they like anymore. They're connecting with people they love. So when you become an authority figure, they're going to fall in love with you. Setting the bar way up here. Third reason we must become an authority figure, to guide more people towards our products and services for more profits. You can't help people with free information. I actually tell my coaching clients, don't take anybody's free advice. If someone gives you free advice, figure out how to pay for it, because you won't use it unless you pay for it. Or take them out for a steak or something. Add some value to that advice they gave you. Don't accept free advice. It's the worst thing you can do for your own self-growth. Never ask yourself, how can I get something free out of this guy? It's disservicing yourself. At the end of the presentation, we're going to pull all this together. I'm going to show you guys the ultimate business model that virtually all top industry leaders are using to take their following from here to up here in terms of investing into themselves and through courses, programs, group coaching, certifications, masterminds, etc. So we're going to pull this all together for your particular business model at the end. This is one of my favorite guys. How many people here read Seth Godin? Seth Godin, isn't he amazing? So one of his quotes is, the future of marketing is leadership. All right? All great leaders are learners, and all great learners are leaders. All right? So we always need to be learning on how to become a great leader. All right. Get on the edge of your seat. We're going to dive in. I've got 11 ways for you guys to become an authority figure in no particular order. Now, some of you guys might be doing the publisher talent model. I met Michael yesterday, and where's Michael? Oh, you're way over there. So Mike creates products for fighters, and he's the publisher, and he's got talent underneath him. So this is all the stuff that can apply to the products he's creating for the people he's publishing. All right, and a lot of you guys, if you're creating other products like supplements, all this stuff will still apply, even if you're not the face of your brand. Number one, here we go. We have to make yourself famous. No one is going to give you a title. We must crown yourself as their leader. For example, who do you think gave me the nickname the Skinny Guy Savior? You? Yeah. I gave myself that name. Nobody gave me that name, and nobody cares. Because when I gave myself the name, I started acting the part. Oh, wow, perfect. I'm looking for the Skinny Guy Savior. So you have to crown yourself as their leader. My friend Ben Pekulski, he's crowned himself as the thinking man's bodybuilder. He's one of the top bodybuilders in the world, but he's identified himself to his audience as the guy who actually thinks. He's not the meathead in the traditional, in the bodybuilding world. It's like the meathead bodybuilders. He takes a thinking man's approach. So he's separated himself. He's different. And if you're not showing up different today, guess what? You're not showing up at all. So if you're not different, nobody's even noticing you. So think of a name that you can give yourself or your product or your company. Just give it to yourself. Are you the world's best trainer? Are you America's #1 dating coach? Are you the fitness Facebook ads expert? What is a name that you can give yourself to own the marketplace? No one is going to pick you. Seth Godin says this. You've got to pick yourself. You've got to decide, I am going to be the guy that leads skinny guys. I am going to be the guy that does this for this audience. Crown yourself the title. Number 2, rise up now and become that leader. So ask yourself, what are your people scared of doing? And how can you pave the way and help them follow you? I'm going to give you some examples of this with photos in a moment. This will make sense. Number 2, don't run from the criticism. Address it head on and show them that you have the guts. And ask yourself, where could I demonstrate courage? One simple thing you can start doing is start making industry predictions. You know, if I'm leading skinny guys, I can start telling them, hey, this is the way. For me, what I started doing early on was I started telling skinny guys that the way to build muscle is not by following these 2-hour workouts. You don't need to be in the gym that long. You got to be in the gym 3 times a week. We got to do full body workouts. We got to get in. We got to get out. We don't need to waste our money on all these expensive supplements. We don't need to wait. We don't have to risk our health on drugs. I paved the way. These guys were afraid to take that advice. They're like, yeah, but all the pro bodybuilders, they train for 2 hours a day and they do like all these, they take all these supplements and they live in the gym. And I had the courage to say, no, you don't need to do that. We do it this way. And I had the guts to stand up, and now they're following when they're seeing, wow, maybe this guy's got something. So we're going to man up, we're going to suck it up, and we're going to lead from the front. I want you guys to start reading as many books on leadership as possible. As you become a better leader, your followings, they're going to have no other option. You know what a good leader does? He, one, figures out what the way is, and then he paves the way. All right? A leader's got to know the way, and then he's got to pave the way. How do we do that? We're going to start using simple things. We're going to use dramatic demonstration of proof. So these photos show people. There's Skinny Vinny, the Skinny Vinny transformation story. This set of pictures was the whole bedrock, the whole cornerstone of my best-selling book, No Nonsense Muscle Building. This was me before, this was me after. The Skinny Vinny transformation story. We're going to use dramatic demonstration of proof. I did it again when I gained a bunch of weight. And I wanted to get shredded. I bulked up to 227 pounds. I had this big belly. And my wife started not giving me the same eyes she did before. And I knew we had a major problem. And I needed to lose the body fat. So what did I do? I announced to my audience, I am going to compete in 16 weeks. I'm going to step up on a stage in a little bikini. I'm going to walk around tan in a little bikini. And I'm going to get shredded. And I'm going to get this thing called my WBFF Pro card, which is just a status symbol that basically says I beat some other guys that are also ripped. And it was a thing to boost my credibility. And I documented these pictures. I took a picture once a week for 16 weeks. And I now got this collage of photos. And I used these photos to market a product called Stay Shredded Status, which put like $70,000 in my bank account like in 2 weeks. And it was simply because I documented my progress from 227 to 195, and I got this pro card, and people were like, oh, okay, cool, I must know what he's doing. Didn't need a long sales page, all I needed were those photos. Dramatic demonstration of proof. Two of my coaching clients, on the same week, I didn't ask them to do this, they post new cars they bought. My friend Rudy bought a Mercedes-Benz. He posts this on his Facebook page. A few days later, another guy, Coach Jordan, is 29, he posts a picture of just buying a Model X Tesla. Like, that's pretty cool stuff. All right, before we do this, number one, Gohar, do you know Drew Canoli of Organifi?
I know of him.
You know what they're doing? The crazy, crazy numbers?
I've heard they're doing some crazy numbers, yes, like 25 million a year.
Yeah, crazy, crazy numbers. And one of the things that Drew does, Drew Canoli has his video on Facebook. So what he sells is a greens powder. And this Facebook video has just blown up their business. And what he does is he goes to the grocery store and he buys all these greens and he puts them through the checkout and he's got this massive piles of greens. And then what he does is he says, see all these greens here? See all this broccoli and the spinach and carrots and cauliflower, all these healthy things to improve your health. He goes, well, see all this? This is the equivalent. And then he shows him his bottle of Organifi, which is literally one scoop, and he takes the one scoop and he puts it in the glass of water and he shakes it up or stirs it up and he drinks it. And he says, what I just did in 10 seconds is the equivalent of all of this. That video blew up his business to $25 million a year. It's insane. I'm watching it thinking, yeah, I need to order myself some right now. I got to get myself some Organifi. I need to get some. This is how easy it is to be healthy. To get 10 to 15 servings of veggies in a day, I just have to take a scoop, put it in some water, stir it, and drink it. That's called dramatic demonstration of proof. So if you sell supplements, that's something you can think about doing for your business. Number 3, get published. Instant credibility on sites that your audience already likes, knows, and trusts. All right, so what this means is that you want to go to the websites that your audience is already hanging out on. And this is going to allow you to get discovered by people who've never heard of you before. It's also going to allow you to get free traffic for more leads and customers so that you don't need to create your own blog. We retired our blog 2 years ago. I haven't posted on it in like 2 years. I do this post at the end of the year, top 40 things I learned. But I don't even use my blog anymore because it's more effective for me to go to a site like bodybuilding.com or askmen.com or Ironman magazine and get my content published on those websites. They already have the traffic. Why do I need my own blog? Why not just get published on the sites where my audience is already hanging out? Those sites are already the authority sites. People are already there. So I'm just going to hack that, and I'm going to get published there. And you also separate yourself from the competition. So one of the things all you guys need to try and do is get published on an authority site. And you're going to be able to leverage that into your video sales letters. You'll be able to leverage that into all your marketing, into your social media. This is also going to make it easy for affiliates to endorse you because you're an expert first and a marketer second. All right, this is something I've always strived to do. Because I am the face of my brand, I went through a little phase where I gained this reputation as an aggressive marketer. And people perceive me as, hey, Vince's fitness advice is like so-so, but his marketing's good. And the reason that happened was because I didn't have a good enough team to support me in being the fitness expert I needed to be. And then when I did, I've been able to shift my authority status to more as, wow, Vince's fitness information is incredible. His marketing is also equally impressive. So you want your affiliates to promote you based on, like, this guy's a legitimate expert. Mike Zhang here is a Muay Thai kickboxing champion. And he recently released a program where when I promoted it, the big thing I talked about was this guy is a legitimate fighter. He stepped in the ring. He's got a lot of bouts. He's been a champion in the ring. So I'm not selling his product, I'm selling Mike. That keeps my integrity intact. And that's how I like to sell people. You know, Matt's a 4-time 5-time WBFF World Bodybuilding Champion. So when I promote his customized carb cycling solution, I'm promoting Matt. I'm not promoting his program. I'm endorsing the man. You can trust this man. You can trust this guy. It's a lot easier to promote somebody when you're promoting the man and not the product. And again, as we said, we can take all this social proof and we can say, hey, I'm promoting my buddy Vince Del Monte this week. He's regularly published on bodybuilding.com, askmen.com, etc. And like, okay, cool. If they want to see for themselves, they can go to the websites and they can find all my articles there. Like, oh, wow, this guy is legit. And they don't need the sales page. They just need an order button now. What's also cool about this is that we can leverage all of our social proof to get published on other high-ranking authority sites for a snowball effect. All right, once you're published on one site, you can say, hey, I've been published here, and that editor is like, okay, cool, that's a reputable, that's our competitor. Wow. It's an easy sell. I'm not asking them to take a big leap of faith on me. So here's how I did it. I started small. And I became a success story for bodybuilding.com way back in 2005. They used to have this transformation contest thing where I submitted my own pictures for their content and they published me. So that's how I got in the door. I gave them something. One of the fastest ways to get on an expert's radar is to become a success story for them. If one of you guys became a success story for me, I would publish you all over my social media. So if you want to get on other people's radars, like a site like this, do something that will benefit them. And then when I went back to contact them, they're like, oh yeah, you were one of our success stories. I was able to start getting published on the website. And then you just work one website to the next. I stayed consistent. This wasn't like a quick game. This is a long-term game. I eventually hired a publicist a few years ago. I worked with Tony Horton's publicist. I met Tony Horton at an event. You guys all know him. Goer talked about him. He's the face of P90X. I met his publicist, and I hired her, and then she went to work for me for a couple years, and her job was to take the little social proof that I had accomplished, and she started getting me published on other websites. And all of this resulted in, you guys want to know conversion, right? So that's all we're here to learn about. That's the big thing we want to learn about. So what did it do? All of that resulted in a 5% conversion bump when we added this thing to our website. So as featured in, I've been in all these publications. I've been on ESPN, bodybuilding.com, Inside Fitness, Men's Fitness, Ask Men, Men's Health, Ironman. So whenever I create marketing materials, I can post that and people can say, oh wow, who is this guy I've never heard of before? And now they can start looking at my other stuff. And if they like, know, and trust me, love, know, and trust me, they'll buy. So this is how it adds up and turns into money in your bank account. All right, this one's really big. This is really relevant to what I'm working on right now. And number 4 is to write a book. How many people here have a book? You all need books. Everybody needs a book, all right? And writing a book is not going in a cabin for 6 to 9 months to write it. I have a friend that wrote a book in the hospital speaking into his iPhone for 4 hours because he thought he wasn't going to make it out of a health challenge he was experiencing. So I'll talk to you guys a bit about that, but first of all, let me tell you 10 reasons why you must write a book. And you do not need to be a writer to write a book. Anyone can write a book. It's the easiest thing in the world. You can talk into your phone. My friend Uriel Kame wrote his recent book, became a New York Times bestseller, driving around, talking into his phone, sent the transcript over to Rev, then had an editor clean it up, had a book. It's very easy. It's not what you think, all right? And this took me years to figure out before I wrote my own book. So if I'm saving some time for some Q&A, so if you guys have questions, we can talk about specifics at the end. So number 1, instant credibility booster for your business. Number 2, it's the ultimate foot in the door strategy. If you want to get onto somebody's stage, if you want to get into somebody's world, send them a book. Get their address and just send them the book. And they're like, oh wow, this guy. Cool, he's got a book. You instantly stand out. You can use your book to generate leads and traffic to build your lists. I'll talk about the free plus shipping offer that we're using on my upcoming book. Books will sell your products and services faster and easier. All right, as soon as they see you have a book, you have something that you can put in their hands, they're instantly more compelled to want to sign up. Nobody wants more ebooks on their computer. All right, people love books. How many people love books? They're not going anywhere. You didn't miss the boat. Nobody's missed the boat if you're like, oh, it's too late. It's not too late. It's the perfect way to position yourself as a consultant or a coach. How many people sell like higher price programs? Like anything over $100, $500? Yes, you should all have books. If you have anything over $100 to $500, you should have a book. It's a great way to get speaking opportunities. Right? If there's so many stories about speakers who wanted to get on a stage, and maybe they had a certain fee that they required to get on the stage, but the event couldn't make that happen. So they said, but they have like a training budget instead, and like, hey, well, we could give away your book for free, and now you put the book in everybody's hands because they buy your book, and now all the attendees have the book. So there's different ways of getting speaking opportunities right, just by having a book. All right. And they also want experts on their stage. So you're going to be more likely to be asked to come speak on a platform when you're able to say I'm a best-selling author. I'm an author, period. It's a great way to get media attention, radio shows, TV interviews, and just traction on social media. So what we're doing right now is we're creating a free plus shipping offer with my book, Living Large, the one you saw at the start there. And what I've done with my publishers, I've bought 1,000 copies of the book, and it's a free plus shipping offer. I'm literally giving it away for $6.95. So people can get my physical book for $6.95. It's a beautiful book. All right, I'm buying the books myself. And then what I'm going to have is a little order bump where people will automatically get put into my continuity program, Maximize Your Muscle 2.0, which is a monthly recurring program. They'll automatically get put into that. And their rebuilds will start every 30 days. And this newsletter blows people away. We had like 200 people recently sign up and like 7 people cancel simply because they didn't have enough time to do the workout. The content blew them away. So when they get this, they're going to want to stay on. All right, and then we have an upsell which funds the customer acquisition. All right, so this is a customer acquisition model. I truly believe not all leads are created equal. I want good quality leads. I want good quality clicks. Remember what I said at the start? I'm not chasing followers, I'm chasing leaders. I know who I actually want in my world. So by putting this book into people's hands, I'm getting a good quality person because they're going to read the book, they're going to get indoctrinated by my world. They're either going to love me or hate me. The ones that love me are going to find out about all my other programs. So I'm giving away this book to get people to come into my world. All right? And I'd be happy to break even on the book just to acquire 1,000 people that now have my book. Does that make sense? Who here is going to write a book after this event? Good. All right. This is also going to set you apart in competitive industries. It's going to set you apart in competitive industries. When you have a book, you just stand out. And you're also going to make more money and help more people. Okay. This is one of my favorite slides. Number 5 is maximize your celebrity. What is the fastest way to become a celebrity? Read it out loud with me. Hang out with other celebrities. That's it. Fastest way to become a celebrity. So what you guys should all be doing this weekend, if you're in the internet marketing space, is you got to be taking pictures with Goher. And be like, yo, he's a celebrity in this space. And if there's anyone in this room that's a celebrity in your space, you need to be taking pictures with them and say, yo, look who I'm hanging out with. That's how you capture people's attention. That's why all these social media influencers are always got the camera rolling wherever they go in these different environments, because they're showing, look where I'm at. Look what I'm doing. Look who I'm hanging out with. I'm a big deal. That's pretty much what they're saying. These celebrities hang out with me, I hang out with them. Yeah, it's no big deal. Yeah, it's how we roll. It's my life. Yo, you should come with us. You know, that's just like, it starts getting in their subconscious that you're a big deal. And like it's like, it all goes back to high school, guys. It goes back, how many people wanted to be in the cool kid club? Did anybody here not want to be in the cool kid club when they're in high school? We haven't grown up much since high school. It's the same thing. So here's some practical tips to maximize your celebrity. Number 1, take their courses. Attend their live events. Sign up for their certification. There's 2 guys that were really big deals when I was starting, Ian King and Charles Poliquin. And they offered courses. They offered certifications. So when I started talking about being at these guys' courses and certifications, people trust me. They're like, oh, you learned from Charles Poliquin. Wow. Oh, you learned from Ian King? You've been mentored by him? Wow. Instant trust factor. Those are the 2 best guys in the industry. So I rode their coattail a bit. That's okay. You know, people are like, wow, this guy's the best. Hire them to coach you personally and become their biggest success story, and they will brag about you until the cows come home. I teamed up with one of the biggest bodybuilders in the world a few years ago. I hired him. I paid his $4,000 rate for the year to coach me and get me shredded. Ben Pekulski. He was my coach. And I created a product out of that. And then eventually we teamed up on a product, and that became a huge multi-million-dollar program because people wanted more. And there was that ultimate trust factor. So I became a celebrity simply by being on his level, standing beside him. He was a celebrity, now I became a celebrity. I just kind of explained that one. We co-created a product together, so we became perceived as on the same level. They bring you up to their level. Another thing you can do is donate money to their charity so that you've created value for them. You know, if there's somebody's radar you're trying to get on, go to their charity event and donate, a couple G's. Join a high-level mastermind to connect with these guys and get endorsed by the leader. And when you're in these environments, you start connecting with real movers and shakers. And when you're in these groups, for example, I've just joined a mastermind out in California with my 2 mentors, Bedros Keuilian and Craig Ballantyne. The price tag for their mastermind is $50,000 a year. Do you think I'm leveraging that out the yin-yang right now? Yes, I'm posting all the pictures of hanging out with these guys. So people are like, wow, I let people know these are the guys I learned from. Go check their track record. Go look at who these guys are. These guys are the real deal. These are the guys I'm learning from. I want you to know who I'm learning from. And people now are like, wow. So I can't get access to them, but if I can get access to you, then I'm probably going to still get access to what you're learning from them. People connect the dots. Number 6, dominate one social media platform to begin. As you guys know, there's a lot of different platforms out there. You should just start with YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, podcasting. Neither or any of them are right or wrong. They're all just different. And the key is just to figure out which one can you excel at. I'm a big believer in quality versus quantity and not spreading yourself thin. There's guys who just crush it on podcasting, but then their YouTube views are really low. Or they're just killing it on Facebook, but they've got a low Instagram following. And that's not a big deal. You don't need all of the platforms. You need to be doing at least one of the platforms really well. We've lost sight of quality these days. Everybody's into quantity. We've lost touch with actual performance and results. So I'm going to just kind of go through where I concentrated on, and it was YouTube. And this was way back in 2008. So if you look at some of my different social media platforms, I have 16,000 people on Instagram, but that's because I just started a year ago. I've been doing YouTube for over almost 10 years. So it just kind of gives you some context. So when you're looking at the numbers, remember, this has been going on for a while. I didn't just start this last week. So how do we get 330,000 subscribers? And it's actually over 65 million views on YouTube. I just checked this morning. And it's from understanding this. You guys know what WIN stands for? What's important now? And back in 2008, a win was being consistent. It was being consistent on this platform, and that was 2 videos a week. That's it. That's all I do. I do 2 videos a week. So I try to do like 1 video a day because my buddy Elliot Hulse blew up his channel from like 200,000 to 1 million in a year when he went from 2 videos a week to like 1 video a day, and I tried that, and my quality went. I couldn't do it. I started contradicting myself. My quality turned into crap. I started just saying stupid stuff, creating controversy for no reason because I was trying to keep up with this content schedule. I almost put myself out of business. Started attracting the haters. Numbers started going down. Started dealing with all this negativity and grief. I did it to myself. I have no one else to blame other than myself. I tried to play someone else's game, so we went back to 2 videos a week, and that's a pace that I can sustain. I can sustain 2 videos a week with good quality. I'm not ready for 3 videos a week yet. I always ask myself, I'm like, you know what? For now, let's focus on quality control. So how do we get to 1 million fans on Facebook? Focus. Who here knows the definition of focus? Follow one course until successful. Isn't that great? I love that. For an entire year, we focused on buying 1 cent to 5 cent likes until it created a life of its own. So there was a phase where I was heavily invested into buying likes, targeted likes, for my fan page, and now it's kind of created this viral, not viral, but we don't pay for likes anymore. It's all video based. So if you go to my Facebook fan page, you'll see that what I do is I take all my YouTube videos and we upload the same video from YouTube onto Facebook. And then we take those people that watch my videos and we retarget them. And then we retarget them back to our sales pages. And that's how we're profitable on Facebook ads right now. So we're making more money than we're spending on Facebook ads. And it's all because we're taking videos, getting people to like, know, and trust us. And then we're taking cold people, getting them warm, and then when they've watched a certain amount of the video, we move them to a list where we retarget them, and then we show them the sales page. I'm not going to show people a sales page if they haven't watched 3, 4, 5 of my videos. They don't even know what I'm all about. So we're patient. We move them through the buckets. So how are we focusing on Instagram right now? Same thing. I'm focusing on quality, not quantity. I've got fitness buddies. They've got like 250,000 people following them on Instagram, but their business model is different than mine. My pastor, Stephen Furtick, has this incredible quote. Comparison kills clarity, and clarity needs context. Isn't that good? Comparison kills clarity. So my goal is to find 5,000 men to join my M5 movement, which is maximizing the 5 M's of manhood. Muscle, mindset, money, mission. Oh, and we doubled up on mindset. The 5th one is marriage. So if you're not interested in this message, I can't help you. I don't have anything for you. There's very few men in the world that are focused on all 5 of these M's. So I'm by default going to have fewer people that follow me. So that's okay. So I'm focused on attracting the right person, not just a bunch of people. Does that make sense? So if this isn't for you, I'm not for you. I'm okay saying that, right? Joe Polish, I think, says if you want to monetize, you have to polarize. So everything I'm posting now on my Instagram page, you're going to see a mix of these 5 M's. You'll see pictures of me and my family. You'll see me talk business. You'll see fitness. And I'll be honest, I've been scared I've always wanted to move in this direction, but I'll be honest, I've been afraid. I've been afraid to start talking business in front of my fitness audience because I'm like, shoot, they're going to now know this is a business. Well, duh. You don't think they already know that? I'm like thinking that they're smart. They already know it's a business. This is what I want to teach guys how to do what I'm doing. Yes, muscle's always going to remain. They're always going to need fitness programs. But now I'm letting people see everything. And this is what I've ultimately wanted to do, and that's why it's so transparent. Next thing I'm thinking about, and I actually need your feedback right now, is what should I do next? I'm thinking about podcasting. And I actually want to do a quick audience survey. So I have been trying to figure out the name for this podcast, and I was going to call it the 5M podcast, but I was recently informed from some friends that like people don't know what 5M means. That should be more like the tagline. So let me ask you guys. I'm thinking of 2 names for my podcast. I want to see what you guys think. I'm thinking of calling it the 5M podcast or the Vince Del Monte podcast. For everybody who wants to call it the Vince Del Monte podcast, put up your hand. Holy mackerel. Thank you, guys. How about the 5M podcast? Okay. Thank you. That's awesome. So there we go. All right. Lewis, if you're watching, it's called the Vince Del Monte podcast. All right. The Vince Del Monte podcast, maximizing the 5 M's of manhood. But I haven't started podcasting yet because there's still so much more opportunity where we are on YouTube. So again, these platforms can come in time. Don't feel overwhelmed or pressured to have to do everything all at once. These platforms aren't going anywhere. Number 7, start hosting events. How many people here have hosted an event? Isn't it one of the most rewarding experiences ever? Isn't it awesome? So why do speakers always draw crowds? Because they're authority figures. If someone's up on stage, they must be someone of significance, right? So if you want to establish yourself as an authority figure, run an event. Have an event. It doesn't matter how many people are there. I'll give you an example. I started running these muscle camps out of my basement. Guess how many people showed up? 4. That's fine. I had 4 guys come into my basement, and I would train them. But what we did was we took that content and we turned it into YouTube videos. So a muscle camp is where guys come to my home and we do 3 workouts in one day. I basically get to kick your butt 3 times in one day. We're going to do 3 different workouts. We space them out. And then my brother's a filmmaker. He films each workout and then turns it into a YouTube video. So now instead of me talking into the camera saying, hey, I'm Vince Del Monte and I'm a fitness expert and today we're going to be learning how to build your biceps. It's now me talking to some guys. All right, so guys, here's what we're doing today. So we got a workout. You guys want to build your biceps today? All right, cool. Where are you starting? So now it's me engaging with my guys with the camera on me as opposed to me talking to the camera. So I'm positioned as the ultimate authority figure. It has a whole different feel. It's kind of like watching the trainers on The Biggest Loser. Like they're not going out there and saying my certifications are this, this, and this. You just know they're experts because they're on the dang show. Somebody vetted them. These guys showed up to learn from them, so they must be good. So when you put yourself up on stage, people are going to instantly establish you as an authority figure. When you have your event, you're going to take tons of photos. All right, I asked Goher last night, can I bring my cameraman in? And he's photographing this event for me. So I can take these photos and put them up on Instagram and show people I'm speaking today. Look at me, I'm on stage again. And you guys can all do this. Nick and I just met at the gym recently. We're training partners, and he's photographing the event, and this is actually going up on Instagram Live with Goher's permission as well. So people are watching this, and they're seeing, oh, Vince is teaching. So these are the kind of things that you guys can do. I want you guys all to plan your own event. How many here want to host their first event? Awesome. When are you going to do it by?
When?
Yes.
Later this year in Austin.
Awesome. Anybody else? New York? Awesome. Congratulations. Those events are going to give you so much fulfillment. And I want you to make sure you photograph them, videotape them, turn them into content, tell your whole world about this event that they missed out on, and then invite them to the next one. And you invite them to the next one. Again, you can start off nice and small. Getting in front of people show you care and are a real person, and this is more than just an online business. All right? This is going to separate you. I think it's great. Goher's consistent with this event. I came to his event, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and he's still doing the event. This is great. It just shows longevity. It shows sustainability. Some of the stuff he's taught today, I remember some of the slides, they're different because he's evolving. You want to come learn from him because I remember some of the things he was teaching then, he didn't teach today. There's been some new things that have emerged in the marketplace. He's staying relevant. I want to learn from somebody who's relevant. And that's what you're doing when you constantly have new events. People say, Vince, you contradict yourself. I contradict myself all the time. Don't you? I'm not contradicting myself. I've learned something new. You're still teaching the same stuff you taught 5 years ago? Man, I don't want to learn from you. You're a dinosaur. That's right. You're on your way to extinction. I'm like, these guys, like, oh my God, wake up. All right. You can tell I'm a little sensitive there because I've been, my Italian blood's starting to boil here. Let me cool down. Other things you can do with live events, really simple stuff. You could organize a monthly Scotch and steak night in your area with industry leaders. So a little while ago, there's a bunch of guys in Toronto. We started going to all the different steakhouses downtown Toronto. We called them Scotch and steak nights. We'd order the most expensive steak, and we get the most expensive Scotch. And then we just take pictures. And it was just like a thing that I actually organized, and then a bunch of guys just showed up. And it's something that you guys can all do in your area. It could just start off with 2 guys, 3 guys, and just do it once a month and take photos of you guys hanging out, having a good time. Just share some bread, share some wine, share some Scotch and steak, and just start documenting those fun things. And you can start incorporating those into all your marketing. Another thing you can do is a yearly mastermind. You know, if you're not in maybe a position to invest into a paid mastermind, no problem. What you could also do is you could connect with other industry leaders and you could have a theme. So I'm a part of a mastermind with a bunch of fitness guys here in Canada, and we call ourselves the Baconators. There's about 8 of us, and once a year we go on trips together. We bring the wives, we bring the kids, and the kids are now growing up together, and we're going on trips together to Club Med and to Mexico, and we've got this amazing family. It's literally a real family. So you guys can start creating these yearly meetups with people in your space, and then you just be consistent. Again, this all goes back just to being a leader, taking initiative. You can invite people to start doing mentorship days to work alongside you. VIP mentorship days. I used to have these things called M5 mentorship days, and guys would show up at my house for a day. I just charge $500 and we just hang out. And I have 5 guys come and we just hang out. And we go to the gym and we train, then we go to my house and we talk business, we talk relationships. And they're just mentorship days. Just small groups of guys. We take photographs and people would say, oh, when's your next one? I have guys fly in for them. But you have a lot of people that currently follow you that are ready to give you more money and to have more access to you. All right? A lot of you guys, you're not like realizing that. You're focusing on getting more, more. You want more. Take care of the people that are already in front of you and ready to go to the next level. It's a way better business model. It's a lot easier and it's a lot more fulfilling. All right, yes, that's definitely a part of your business. We always need to be bringing new people into your world. Absolutely. However, don't neglect the people that are already in your world ready to go to the next level. And you'll see how this all ties together in the last slide. Number 8, recognize your top guys. All right, so whatever industry you're in, I assume you're in a service industry where people are getting results. If they're getting results, showcase those results. Recognize your top guys. Whether it's a testimonial or a video or just a post on social media. More than money, what do men love the most? We love recognition. Before I left here, my wife said, you're going to kill it today. Give me like kind of goosebumps. Well, my wife said, you're going to kill it today. They're not going to know what hit them. That fires me up. We have basic needs, us men. Recognition is one of them. We can never get enough recognition. All right, so recognize your top guys, even more than money. I could feed off a good compliment for years. I could feed off a good compliment for a long time. People don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. You've all heard that before. It's so true, right? That's the thing I was saying. People don't read sales pages anymore. They just want to know, does this person actually care about me? Or am I going to get scammed? Or is this guy just is this a quick cash grab? It's very basic stuff here, guys. Again, this can occur from your programs, but where you can get your best results is from your higher price programs like one-on-one coaching, membership sites, maybe finalists from a transformation contest or any type of contest that you have. And you want to always you always want to find your A players, the guys that are really doing well in your business with whatever service you're offering, and you want to put them in the limelight. Put them in your emails, put them in your stories, put them in your video sales pages, put them on your websites. Showcase these guys' successes. Because guess what they're going to do? They're going to tell all their friends, hey, look where I was featured. Yeah, you got to go check this guy out. I just won his transformation contest. Don't underestimate one-to-one. Number 9, run events to bring together your top guys. All right, so once a year, what I want you to do is to do a big event. Something like this. I want you to do something like this for your top customers, your top transformation students, and invite them together. For whatever your space is, think of an event that you can do. So what I did a few years ago is when I came out with my book, Living Large, I invited people to go through the program for 30 weeks. And the prize for the top 10 guys was a trip to Las Vegas during the Mr. Olympia weekend for a free muscle camp. So I had all these guys transforming their bodies so that they could come to Las Vegas, hang out with Vince, hang out with my other coach, Ryan Fanley, for us to go out for steak, for us to break bread, for us to have a great time together, and for them to finally meet their coach. And it was an amazing weekend, and we turned that event into content for YouTube. So now we got this content on YouTube. You can go search it, Muscle Camp Las Vegas, and you can see these awesome videos with Vince and all these other people. And now people can start seeing who Vince is actually connecting with. And like, wow, I'm just like that guy that follows Vince's program. Maybe I'm going to give his product a shot. And we got my demographic is primarily 25 to 45-year-olds, but I've got a number of guys who are in their 60s who follow my stuff. And they came to Muscle Camp. A couple of the guys in their early 60s were my best transformations, and they were at Muscle Camp. And these guys come on camera. Some of them start crying, saying, I wasn't going to do this, but Vince pushed me. And we got this content on. We don't orchestrate. This just comes out. My brother films it. I'm like, hey, how'd that interview go? He goes, well, man, you won't believe what he told me. I'm like, what did he tell you? He's like, they tell you the whole life story. And this event apparently had a huge impact on his personal life. He was real in the dumps, and then he found the work and found the workouts, and the workouts changed his life. And you get these real stories, and it starts enforcing your belief of what you're doing. I'm like, I'm not helping guys build their biceps. I'm helping guys change their life and find self-confidence to go do what they really want to do. And guys get fired up. So that's why I have these live events. I bet, Goher's going to walk away. He's connecting with a lot of you guys, and he's going to get really clear on how he can continue to help you. And he's going to hear the stories that you say, yo, that program you gave me has really helped us. And it's going to solidify what he's doing. He's having a way bigger impact than just helping you guys get traffic, leads, and conversions. He's helping you guys create generational wealth for your family and your family's family. It's much bigger than just what we think we're doing. So another thing you guys can do is team up with another celebrity. All right? Who's somebody? So, for instance, Big Ben Pakulski is a professional bodybuilder. So he's a professional athlete, right? So when we met, his forte wasn't marketing. Right? It's not supposed to be. He's a professional athlete. So my forte was marketing. So he needed something that I had, and vice versa. So we teamed up. We started doing these camps together. I started organizing events, bringing the people out, and people just knew he was going to be there. So all he had to do was show up. Right? Which is great because he's a celebrity. So you could team. What celebrity could you team up with, or somebody who's an influencer in your space that you could do something with? Where you could share the stage with, or you could organize something in your area that would benefit you both. Always look for chances to elevate your community, superiority, and desire to connect with people. Whenever so when Goher asked me to speak at this event, how quickly did I respond yes to? It's pretty fast. Yeah, it was really fast. I'm not single anymore, so I can't make those 10-second decisive decisions anymore. I still have to check with the boss. So I checked with the boss quickly, but I knew quickly, I got to make sure I'm here. Because this was a no-brainer. This is an opportunity to connect with people. All right, I would never turn down these opportunities. Number 10, evolve and create products around your personal evolution. This is my business model. As your family grows, as your customers grow, they're going to need new programs. I could do this for a lifetime. I'm going to do it for a lifetime. So I've started off talking about muscle. I've been talking about muscle for 10 years. I've been helping guys build muscle for 10 years. There's not much more I can say about building muscle. I pretty much said it all right? Tactics change, but methods always stay, right? So now I'm starting to talk more about the other 4 M's of becoming a better man. We're talking about mindset now. We're talking about making money. We're talking about fulfilling your mission in life. What's your path? What have you been called here to ultimately do? We're talking about marriage. How do we maintain the main, how do we keep that main thing the main thing? So now I'm getting to talk about the things I really want to talk about, and as my audience is building their bodies, they now want to build those other areas of life. They want to build their body, they want to build their brains, they want to build their business. So now they've given me permission to start talking about these other areas, and this is going to create new programs for a lifetime to come. And this could create an entire back-end product line. So what could your back-end product line look like? What's the next thing? So if you look at all your customers, you take your customer list, you print it off, and let's say you printed it off in terms of like who's given you the most money over the years, what's the next thing you could create for that top 5%? So if you look at your list, you'll probably find 5% of the people on that list have given you the most money. There's a lot of, they're rabid buyers. They don't even read the sales pages, they buy whatever you put out. How many people are like that with GoHer stuff? Like he comes out with a product, you don't need to read the sales page, you just trust him, you just go get it. Yeah. Okay, so he would be figuring out what would he create for you guys that just put up their hands. What's the next thing you guys need? That would be his next product or service or mastermind or coaching program, etc. Or certification, whatever it is. So you always want to anticipate what they will need next. Again, it just goes back to becoming a good leader. A leader knows the way, and then he shows the way. I know what men need to maximize the 5 M's of manhood. It's not to remain a one-dimensional fitness guy. I know a lot of jack dudes whose wives despise them because they're selfish. I know a lot of jack dudes who are broke. I know a lot of jack dudes who've got a scarcity mindset. Right? So we can't stay here. We can't stay here. We have to move here. And then we have to move here. We have to move here. If you want to become a better man, we have to keep moving. And I know the way. And that's essentially the entire brand. That's everything we're doing. So we're just anticipating what they will need next. Number 11. This is the fun stuff. So now we're going to kind of put it all together. What does this actually look like as a business model? So I consider this, in my opinion, to be the ultimate ascension model. So we're going to start off with multiple front-end products, otherwise known as tripwires. And these are going to be more like your low-dollar offers. You know, your anything from $7 to $97. This is like your first product. This is a product that addresses a specific problem and it gives you a specific solution. All right, that's like just that. Right now, they've got a pain point. They need something solved right now. This is your first $7 to $97 product. All right, this is where we start. We got to show people we know what we're talking about. Now, of all those people that came in and bought your tripwire, your front-end product, whatever you want to call it, 5 to 10% of them want to take the next step. Like if you put a hurdle in front of them, there's always people in the world, if you just put something in front of them, they're always just going to step over it. Like just naturally, they're going to step over it. They're always going to take it because it's just there. All right, so we always have to keep those guys in mind because they're always ready to, they're just growth-centered people. They're lifelong learners. There's people that are just, they get it. We don't need to sell that concept to them. So we need something for those guys. And what we're ultimately doing is we're always leading people to the ultimate opportunity to have access to you. Ultimately, they need you. Like if you lived with me for 7 days, what do you think it'd be like? You'd come out leaner, you'd come out more muscular, you'd have bigger ideas, you'd be inspired to work on your relationships. If you lived with me, but that's probably not going to happen. My wife's not going to let that fly. Or maybe for a night or two in the basement. But for you to get the best results, you need access to me like 24/7. All right? So I'm trying to figure out, how do I create something that gives people more access to me? I'm confident if we just go out for lunch today, you're going to leave like fired up. You're like, if you hung out with Goher for a week, you're going to be inspired to become the best traffic buyer, media buyer in the world. Like your brain's going to expand. Your limiting beliefs are going to get crushed. All right, so your people need what you have, so we're always moving them towards you. And obviously, that's going to come with a nice penny. So let's do some outcomes here. I want you guys to get your pen and paper here, and I always love number crunching, right? I like to become practical. We have to, at the end of the day, it's fun these are all cool ideas and everything, but we want to start to look at how's this actually going to play out? All right, so let's just do some different scenarios here. So what's the fastest way to $100,000 a year? How many people here would like to make $100,000 a year? If you're not there right now, that's fine. Don't be honest. Yeah, just put your hand up, be honest. Not a big deal. It's just numbers. Okay, cool. So one model, there's many models, it's 177 clients paying you $47 a month. How many people think they could spend the next 1 to 2, maybe even 3 years, just that number right there? 177 clients in a membership program paying $47 a month. Jason, reasonable, right? Super reasonable. How old are you?
28.
You're 28. So even if it took 3 years, worth it?
Yeah,
definitely. I'm sure we're going to do it faster, but even if it took 3 years, definitely worth it. If he has singularity of focus, clarity of focus and clarity of path. So we have to get clear on our vision and then clear on the path that's going to get us there. I like to do this one here. What's the fastest way to $1 million a year? 100 clients paying you $1,000 a month. So how many people here how many people here want to get to $1 million a year? $1 million a year. That's great. So there's different paths to $1 million a year. One of the models I prefer personally is to take more money from fewer people. So maybe you start your own mastermind. Or you have a high-level coaching program that includes live events. If this took you 5 years to get to, would it be worth it? Now, I can tell you straight up right here, if you were charging $1,000 a month, it would likely include a lot of probably a couple 2-day meetups, a lot of phone coaching. There's going to be a lot of access to you. But the profit margins on this are huge. When you're doing a coaching service, do you know you do coaching? Yeah.
No, I run ads for people who do coaching.
Awesome. So you know the profit margins on coaching programs are huge. Like I run a mastermind of my own. The take home's like 80%. Except on the months that we have our actual events where I take everybody out for dinner and everything, the take home's a little less, but the take home's insane. So what is your ideal outcome? I think it's very important for you just to write down what that number is and to start to reverse engineer, how am I going to get there? And again, okay, 2 minutes. The big thing is to figure out what makes sense for you. Now, this is the last slide. This is the proven profit model for authority figures. I'm going to break it down for you one by one. Step 1 is a book. Again, these are rough estimates. Don't get hung up on the numbers, but this kind of gives you a very good glimpse of what I'm creating. Step 1 is a book, an ebook, $47. Step 2, we move those clients from the book into a group coaching program for micro continuity. It's $79 a month for 3 months. All right, so we get them results. We get them really good results because they took the book, but now they're in the coaching program. And now after they're finished that first program, then we put them into a continuity program, which is $47 a month indefinitely. That's running forever. All right, and then we take all those guys that are in the continuity program and we tell them about a live event. The live event happens once a year, and that live event is going to be anywhere from $200 to $1,000. And then at that live event, we're going to introduce people to an opportunity to work with you for 12 months, 3 two-day meetings a year, and that's your mastermind. And that mastermind, you're going to charge $1,000 to $2,500 per person per month. And then after that, you're going to create a certification program. And that certification program is going to be something that's going to have $25,000 buy-in, and then there's going to be monthlies on that as well to get access to you, and that's your business model. So for authority figures, this is what you're going to start to build out over the next couple years, and this will take you to a $10, $20 million business. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, you guys can sideline me. If you guys have any questions right now, I'm happy to take them if we have time. If not, I want to thank you guys so much. Thank you, Gohar, for having me as well.
Thanks, buddy. That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Anybody have any questions for Vince?
Yes, I do.
Sure, come on. Can you come on up to the mic, or Carol, can you pass the mic?
We get a picture with you.
Can I stand a little bit forward so that we're the same
do-
size
do-
then?
do-
You step a foot back, all right?
Look at Gohar puff up.
I'm trying, man.
Lean and mean.
How do you avoid perfectionism?
Great question. Okay, hang on, I want to get this right. You need to start becoming decisive. You need to start making decisions quickly. And you need to understand that the reason you're not decisive is that it's because you don't understand that decisiveness is a muscle. And the only way you build your muscles is by flexing them. So you need to start flexing your decisive making muscles, and you got to do it fast. And you have to understand that while you're spending time perfecting something and gathering information, I've already made tons of decisions. I'm so far ahead of you. If I made the wrong decision, I can pivot, and I'm still way far ahead of you while you're back here gathering information, trying to perfect it. So you have to understand that the opportunity isn't in perfecting it, it's in executing and pivoting when you make a mistake and continuing to move forward. So today I'm going to give you an exercise. Who has a hard time here making decisions? It's okay, I do too. I have a horrible habit. I go into a restaurant, it takes me 15 minutes to decide what I'm going to eat. I'm allowed to swear?
Go ahead. I'll just edit it out, don't worry.
Okay, no worries. Edit it out, but I'm a Christian, but I feel like sometimes it's important to swear. When you go and make a decision today for lunch, don't spend 10, 15 minutes trying to figure out if you should eat the chicken or the sushi. Make a fucking decision and make it fast. Start practicing making decisions with the small stuff, and the bigger ones will become easier and easier. And that's how you avoid perfection syndrome.
That is so important. When I make a decision, I make it split like that, because it's better to make 10 decisions that are fast and one of them turns out to be a mistake, big deal. The other 9 are going to outweigh the one mistake. But you're making decisions fast. Like he says, you're going to be left in the dust if you think that, it's got to be perfect and I'm going to get it right, and before you know it, 5 competitors have already beaten you to it.
Thank you again. Sensitive. I just want to see if we can afford you for if we're doing an event. It's a great idea. Thank you very much. Really crystallized for me. Something
Can I
want
speak
to
at
put
your
together.
event?
Yeah.
Yeah, just hit me up.
All right.
He didn't pay me to be here today. I'm
Oh,
here
okay.
because Gohar's an incredible guy.
Right.
I trust him. I love what he's doing.
Okay.
And when he offered me the opportunity to speak here, it was a no-brainer.
Okay, maybe an opportunity for one of your people you're mentoring to have a speaking engagement. So,
Sure, just direct message me and we can sideline
all
that.
right, great. Thank you.